Okay, what's up? I'm back. I'll do another 10-10 game. Leeches.org. Uh, Guys, the response to the first video, the first two videos was awesome. I got some really, really good comments. Uh, Thanks for watching. I hope I can keep this up. I'm on kind of a losing streak right now, actually. I was playing some like anonymous chess to warm up before this video, and I got beat pretty handily. So let's go. We got a high rated. It's an 1800 player. Maybe I can learn a thing or two. Oh no, he left. He left the game. Bummer. Okay, new opponent. Let's see if anyone can play us. Okay. Playing black here. So he starts off. Oh, I had these weird openings. Like, I have no idea how to punish them or anything, and I don't know exactly what to do. Here, my first thoughts are play d4 or knight to f6. Just grabbing space. d4 could lead to like a Kali system type deal. Uh, I'm actually going to start with knight to f6 and see what he does. If he plays like e4, oh no, okay, never mind. Um, yeah, so I'll gain space in the center, try to lock down on this d4 or e4 square. Yeah, excuse my misspeaks, by the way. I misspeaks? Yeah, excuse my misspeaks. I I watched some of my older videos, like the first one and the second one, and I realized I called squares by the wrong names and pieces by the wrong names. That'll happen a lot, so just be prepared, I suppose. Uh, okay, my plan c5 here, knight to c6. I mean, I don't really see the point of this. His light square bishop is obviously coming out to try to check my king. So if I play c5, he checks. I play knight c6. It's kind of in a pin, but I can actually fianchetto my dark square bishop. I like the look. What's the danger of that? I guess he could play d4 and lock down that diagonal. Yeah, so maybe I'll just develop my light square bishop out to f5. Get him out of there. With plans on expanding on the queen side later. Then I can play, after my bishop is out of the pawn chain, I can play e6. Get my dark square bishop out. That's what I'll do. That's how I'll develop fast. Because I think I do want to play e6. And I don't want to lock my light square bishop in, so I'll get him out first. Then play e6. Get my dark square bishop developed and castle. With that early f4 move, I think he's going to be pretty weak on the king side. So I don't know if he's planning on castling short, but yeah, if he does, then I'll have some things to work with. Okay, on with my plan. This kind of is that bad because my e5 square is pretty weak, and he can jump a knight in there. Because it's not so bad because I can always just play my knight to f6 and contend it. If he moves his d pawn, I'll go out and pin his knight with plans of jumping my knight into e4. Maybe I can win his dark square bishop that way. Okay, yeah, his light square bishop is trapped in there now. Maybe he wants to. He can't make this e4 advance, this e4 break, because it just doesn't work for him. So that he's stopping my knight from jumping in. Understandable. I'll go out and pin him. If he plays a3 to kick me, maybe I'll take and double up his pawns. That doesn't look so bad for him, actually. Maybe this is silly. Maybe I should have just developed my bishop to d6. Do I drop back and be a little coward? If I go d6, then knight b5 comes with tempo. Yep, I'll maintain the pin. if he pushes me all the way back to b6, this is actually not so bad. Because I'm targeting this kind of weak pawn. Like assuming he wants to put his dark square bishop on this long diagonal, uh, he'll leave his e3 pawn undefended. If he plays a4 here, I'll advance probably a6, a6 or a5. Actually, maybe a5. That'd be pretty good. The idea being that, like a6, the idea being that if he comes and tries to trap my bishop, I can just retreat to a7. But a6 is good because then if he takes, then I take back with my bishop and maintain the pin on his knight. If he doesn't take, if he just advances, I can always play c6. Then he takes, I take with my knight, and I'm getting developed, and he's not. I'm ready to castle. His light square bishop still has problems kind of getting out there. His weak points right now, nothing totally weak. I mean, if he keeps his dark square bishop on that diagonal, he's got his pawns covered. Can't really get at his knights. I can pin his knight on f3 to his queen. Okay, so he is trying to castle that way. Castle short. In D pawn openings, you want your C pawn up. I know that's true. I mean, you want it ahead of your knight, but maybe I'll just develop my knight out to c6 first, because I want to play d4. He's guarding it. He's attacking it twice. If I have my knight out there, then I'm attacking it twice also. So what I play knight out, he can advance b5. So I prepare. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll prepare my knight advance with b5 or with a6, preventing b5 and knight c6. I mean, so a6 castles, knight c6. If he tries to prevent me from playing d4 by playing d4 first, then I'll have a huge lock on the e4 square. All right, so that can wait. You know what I'm going to do? I know, okay. Yep. I'm maintaining my plan. I'm going to prevent his pawn from coming in there, or his knight from jumping in, actually. This is a multi-purpose move. I know it looks kind of slow and defensive, but I figure if he wants to get rid of my dark square bishop with his knight by jumping into a4, I can always retreat my bishop back into this little pocket on a7. Plus, he can't advance b5, so my knight can be there. A couple good things about that. So his knight is not really doing much of anything. I'm actually content to just leave it there. This gives me a chance to first play c5, then jump my knight in, so he's behind my pawn. Just kind of getting some space on the queen side, opening things up. Now, what's his move here? I mean, I don't think that's threatening anything. If I push and he advances instead, I take, he takes. I don't want his knight getting in there. So you know what? I'm going to go over here. If he trades, then I'll just build up a strong center. I'll capture towards the center with my b pawn. I'm looking pretty good. If I can get his knight out of that square, he has to recapture with his pawn. Then I got a half open file to work with. I can castle advance f4, and if he castles short, then I mean he'll also have a half open file to work with his rook, but that'll mean that my dark square bishop is right in line with his king. And I think the rook and the dark square bishop together, plus this this knight on f6 could come to life a couple ways. Like if he ever moves his d pawn, and I have the d4 square. And if I can get my bishops, really, since I have really strong bishops here, and he has open lines toward his king, I think I just want to open it up. I was hesitant to castle at first, to castle short, because I for some reason I felt like he had more space on the king side. Like he is, if he ever does push this pawn, or I can't do it right now, but in the future, if he pushes his pawn, he had his knight and his two bishops kind of pointing this way, and his queen. He had all of his pieces going toward my king side. And I was thinking when I was going to push c5 first that I would have more queenside space. That would also make my king less safe. So I'm kind of just hanging out with my king in the middle right now, seeing what he's going to do. Okay, so he did exactly what I was saying. He's pushing his d pawn, so he's leaving a huge hole right in the middle there. Like he wants his knight in my camp, but it might be a little too early for that, for him to like effectively do that. Because after I take and he recaptures with one of his pawns, after I castle and push f3, he's got to take it back, or I take it, which is not great for him. So I'm thinking just castle. I can castle, or I could actually play knight d7 with f3 ideas right now. Kick him with a pawn. That'd be funny. My dark square bishop is just bad now. I would love to exchange him. My light square bishop is quite good. Okay. I'm gonna castle. Plans of knight d7, f3 to kick this knight. Or even knight e7 if he plays. I don't even know what he would play. I guess now he can play. See, his dark sword bishop is even worse than mine though. Mine's at least decent. Mine, like if I ever get at that weak point on e3, I'll be lined up with this king. Just the d4 pawn in my way. He is always like he's always going to be either betting on this weak point. He has to stay around and protect it, or if he goes up to b2 with his bishop, he's going to be just like eating his d4 pawn, which I'm loading up on, by the way. The reason I'm not jumping my knight in to e4 right now is because he could take it, I could take with my bishop, and then like if he castles or something, if I hang out with my bishop there, he can always just move his bishop to d3. And if I take, then he develops with his queen, and then his queen is on those light squares, which is a pretty good piece, and my queen is not doing a hell of a lot. If I move my knight, then I do have that check with my queen. Is that handy? Can I leverage that somehow? Okay. So if I can get rid of this this pawn on d4, then my dark square bishop's going to be awesome. How do I do that? Well, I move my knight and advance. I don't know. In this case, I could actually move my knight into e4. If I recapture with my pawn, then I kind of am encouraging him to push his d pawn eventually. Maybe that's getting a little too tricky or something. Yeah, I'm thinking I just clear out his knight and jump my knight in. That's the plan. He can't recapture. Like I want him to recapture with his d pawn. He's not going to. He'll recapture with his f pawn. But in that case, I'm kind of opening lines against his king again. And I can always reinforce my center with c6 and drop my bishop to c7. You know. Okay, going ahead with my plan. In which case, I actually, yeah, if I can swing my queen up with check, and I play c6, I can put my bishop down to d8 and swing him over. Just do a huge bishop swing, because his bishop is not going anywhere. I'm not moving that pawn for my life, actually. Keeping the d pawn locked right where it is. So his dark square bishop is just out of the game. At least I don't see how it can come in. Oh, I don't even have. That's what I wish I had seen this. I wish I could say I had seen this first. But after he takes, right now I could have seen knight jumps in. If knight takes, and I have queen check. Take the knight with my queen. I knew there should be a tactic there, but I wasn't exactly sure. If I recapture with my bishop, it's not bad. But the queen capture is better, because then my queen is right in his territory, and I don't see how he can effectively chase it away. He can't kick it with a pawn, because this square is just weak after he sits there. He could try to exchange my queen, but keep in mind I'm also like if I go check and he blocked with his pawn after I take, then I'm hitting his rook. So he could castle there. That's something I didn't know also. I thought you couldn't castle when your rook was under attack. This is how how ridiculously small my knowledge is sometimes of chess. But I thought like if your rook was under attack, you couldn't castle. But indeed you can. It's just if your king or if any of the squares in between your king and rook are under attack, then you can't. Um. Hmm. Okay. So what's his plan here? If I take his knight, he takes with his bishop. It's not like his bishop has improved at all. Should I insert this check? I don't know, because... Oh, yeah, maybe I can, because then if I take with my knight, his pawn is pinned. Yeah, he can't take that pawn. Plus, I'm overprotecting my knight. Yeah, I have this check. Is that mate? Oh, it's not mate, but I can I win his queen afterward or something? I go check, king d3. He's really running out of squares at that point. In fact, maybe that's mate even. After knight c5. Oh, I'm so bad at calculating these things. Oh, it's not mate because he can always run away to. Oh man, he can always run away to c1. In which case I have queen takes check. He runs away to b1 and that's it. All right. I was hoping I could like win his queen or something. If I go knight takes check, he takes my knight. I take his pawn. That might be. So this is called hope chess. Ooh, I hope that's mate. I hope that's mate. Oh, I guess he just has to block with his queen. I was gonna say how is it not mate, but he blocks with his queen. I take with my bishop, and that should be about game. Can't go down to c4 because my pawn protects that square. I think that should do it. Ah, and he resigned. Yeah, the continuation. I think he would have to block here. I could take. He takes, and then the game is pretty much won. Just go check and go from there. I'm up the queen. Okay, I broke my losing streak. Right on. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any comments, any things that I missed, or if you just want to say hi. Till next time, guys. Thanks.